your car.
Hey everyone, Greeno here. And where am I today? Well, this great big house you can see behind me there is Longleat House, the ancestral home of the Bath family. Now, I'm not here to see a big posh house. We are here because obviously Longleat is home to the UK's probably most famous, most beloved safari park. So, we're going to go around and see some animals. And once you've seen one lion, you've seen them all, haven't you? I'm more interested in what we're going to find to eat here. So, off we go. Like I say, we'll look out for some animals, but I'm on the lookout for something decent to eat. Right, I think we decided where I'm going to head for lunch first. There's a restaurant here on site here called the Chameleon Tree. There's a lot of sort of fast food places and places you can get sandwiches and that sort of thing. It's a little pizza restaurant, but I don't think it'll be as good as the pizza I got at El Marino recently. If you haven't seen the video of that, make sure you go and take a look. We're going to go into this Chameleon Tree place here. There's a few little, it's like kind of like a cafe type thing. They've got jacket spuds, a few main meals, sandwiches, sides, that sort of thing, I think. Let's get inside, have a look at what's going on. So it's quite a big restaurant in here. Lots of seating, different options. There's normal seats, there's round tables, long tables. We managed to find a little booth in a corner, which is good to film in. But a lot of the tables are pretty dirty and it's not even that busy. We're in here quite early. Well, I say quite early, about 1 o'clock. Nobody's cleaning tables. Nobody's taking care of the basics of hygiene, which is really pretty poor, isn't it? So this is what Little Un's ordered. She's up here with me today. Doesn't want to be on camera today though. She has got a children's lasagna with chips and garlic bread. And that comes with a fruit shoot as part of a little meal deal at £7.95. This doesn't sound too bad, but we'll have to give it a try and see if it's any good, won't we? Okay, so we're going to give this lasagna a little try. To be honest, it looks pretty dry. There's a lot of pasta in there and it kind of soaked up the wetness of the sauce. It's quite a solid chunk of lasagna rather than a sloppy kind of thing. This is the same lasagna they use for the adult portions, you just get a smaller bit of it. And to be honest, that is not great. The cheesy bechamel sauce on the top, got a little bit of kind of burnt bubbling to it, which is quite nice. The pasta is very kind of soft. No bite to it at all. But the mince and the, well, sauce, such as it is, there isn't really any sauce, is very, very bland. Now I think the adult portion of this, which is lasagna with and any two sides, there's all sorts of different sides, is £12.95. I don't think this is worth that. I think this is pretty poor, to be honest with you. I'd say the top bit with the bechamel on isn't too bad. The rest of it is almost unpleasant to eat. It really is. The fries are very, very standard. Just frozen chips. They're okay, pretty bland. There's no seasoning or anything to them. Even the garlic bread. This is like a half ciabatta roll. Do we think that's actually been toasted in any way, shape or form? And have a look at how much. If this is proper garlic bread, you'd expect butter to be oozing out of it at that point. Very dry, not a lot of herbs to it. Kind of a very mild garlicky taste. A tiny bit of crisp around the outside of the crust, but that's it. That is not great. Even for a kid's meal, you know, they don't put much effort into kids' meals in a lot of places, do they? I think that's garbage. Having just spoken about the hygiene of the place here, I was about to start showing you my meal and tucking into it, and I realised the cutlery's not even clean. That's just basic, isn't it? Here's what I've ordered. We have got fish chips and mushy peas. So this is haddock they've got here today. So it's with the same fries that we saw already on Littland's plate, and a fairly healthy looking portion of mushy peas. I'm not sure if this is battered on site, but it seems to be pretty crispy. But it does kind of look like something that's brought in frozen and just chucked in the deep fryer, doesn't it? Anyway, let's give it a try. This is £12.95 for this meal, without any drink or anything, so just as it comes. Okay, so this also comes with a little pot of tartar sauce here and a little slice of lemon. So we'll start with the fish. That's the obvious place to start, isn't it? Like I say, it's got quite a crispy batter to it. This was freshly brought out from the kitchen just as I ordered it. But like I say, I think given the appearance of the batter on here, I think this is something that's pre-done and just brought in like in a freezer bag, rather than them actually battering some fresh fish. So let's take a little look inside. It's quite a big portion, I suppose, of the fish. So let's give this a little try, shall we? A little bit of, actually, we'll try it with first as it is, and then we'll put some tartar sauce on in a minute. Again, pretty bland. Not very exciting flavour. You would not tell this was haddock. Absolutely not. This could be literally any generic whitefish. So, haddock normally has quite a distinctive flavour, doesn't it? This is really bland. And like I say, that is definitely just like a bird's eye fish, frozen fish fillet. The fish inside the fillet, as I say, is very, very tasteless. The batter itself is also tasteless. The fish doesn't even seem to have nice kind of flakes to it, a little bit maybe. But that's really, really disappointing. Okay, let's move on to the fries. Let's get some salt and vinegar on those. So, comes in little sachets here, which is fine. Don't mind that. So, a little bit of salt first. Hold some back. A little bit of vinegar. And then some more salt. That's the way to do it. So, let's try this. Like I say, these are just bog standard fries. Out of a freezer bag. Bland. They are quite a nice crisp. I think that's partly because in between them plating my meal, or Littland's meal actually, they gave her one lot of chips. By the time they were plating mine, they'd brought some fresh ones out. So I think I just slightly got the better of that deal. But they ain't great. Let's say really flavourless. I mean, okay, it's only potato, but you want it to taste of something, don't you? What a disaster. Let's see if the mushy peas can save it. So, like I said, quite a nice portion of it. Not putting a little ramekin or anything like that, just spooned onto the plate. That's fine with me. And it seems to have a fairly good, thick consistency with still some chunkier pieces of pea in there, so that's okay. But how will it taste? Obviously, it's a tinned one. They're going to be getting through quite a lot of this here. And they won't be making their own like you would in a chip shop. Clearly, if they're not even battering their own fish. I mean, it's okay. It's got a weird kind of background sweetness to it though. Which, I've got to say, the more I get into it, the more unpleasant that becomes. It's almost an overwhelming, sugary, sweet finish to it. And mushy peas have got a very distinctive flavour, haven't they? Kind of earthy, savoury. So to get that sweet finish to it is just odd. Do you know what? I don't even think I'm going to finish this. This is absolute rubbish. So I forgot to mention what the tartar sauce was like. So it just comes in this tiny little pot here. Not very much there at all. I'll dip one of these fries in there, because at least they're more palatable than the fishes. Even that's sweet. What I like about tartar sauce is it's creamy, but you've got some really nice sharp flavours in there, from bits of gherkin, bits of caper, that sort of thing. This is clearly just out of a jar. No real discernible like chunks of anything in there. And again, just this weird sweet finish. So I can't say I recommend this. So this is the Chameleon Tree, I think it's called, the restaurant on site here. This is like the main cafeteria bit. There's other fast food vendors around. There's a place doing like burger meals and hot dogs, that sort of thing. There's a pizza restaurant, a sandwich shop, you know. So there are other options around. I would pick one of them if you're here, because there's nothing to recommend this to me. Not one thing. Littland's plate, I thought was unpleasant. She's eaten most of it. She's eaten the lasagna, she's eaten some of the fries. She's barely touched the garlic bread. She had a little bit of my fish a minute ago just to try it. Didn't think it was brilliant. Thought it was nice and crispy. Overall, okay, but not very fishy. Had much better. Yeah. I'm unimpressed. And do you know what? £20.90. Okay. Is that a lot of money in this day and age for eating out? Maybe not. Do you still want to get value for that money? Absolutely. Do you want food that tastes good? Yes. Do you want to sit in an environment that's clean? Yes. Do you want your cutlery to be clean? Ideally, yes. What a letdown. Still. At least the animals are good. Right, so there we go. As I said, Littland's had some of the fish. I'm not eating the rest of that. It's awful. So what do I make of the Chameleon Tree? Well, I think if you've, unless you skipped the whole video, I think it's fairly clear what I think of it. Absolutely outrageous. So, first of all, it's not clean inside. The tables are dirty and nobody is going around cleaning them. The cutlery is not clean. That is a very, very basic thing for any catering environment. Once the cutlery's been through the dishwasher, someone just wipe them with a knife, polish them. You can see straight away if things are clean or not. That is disgusting, in fairness. The food itself, really poor. Give you an example. Littland had a lasagna, chips and garlic bread, and in fairness to her, she was hungry and she did eat it. When I asked her afterwards what she thought about it, she said, well, at least the fruit shoot was good. I mean, that just about sums it up, doesn't it? The fish, I mean, obviously it's not hand battered on site or anything. It's just a frozen piece of fish in batter, deep fried. It was oily, bland, couldn't taste what fish was inside, and haddock should have a fairly distinctive flavour. Yeah, that was awful. The fries, again, at least they were crispy, in fairness, the ones on my plate anyway, but they were bland too. Nothing to them whatsoever. The mushy peas and the tartar sauce had that really weird sweetness that just made them unpleasant. I gotta say, this is probably some of the worst food I reviewed on the channel so far. I mean, I know we're in a tourist place and you don't necessarily expect the highest quality product, but you at least expect, if you're going to spend 20 quid on a meal, it to actually be edible. I ate maybe half of mine, and that was only because I was reviewing it. If I hadn't been trying to show you guys what it was all about, I wouldn't have eaten as much of it. Okay then guys, so if you've enjoyed this review of the Chameleon Tree, more than I enjoyed eating in there anyway. Don't forget, click a thumbs up on there for me. It does help with the channel. And if you're new around here and you like what you've seen, why not consider clicking the subscribe button, ding your little bell for notifications, and that way you won't miss anything that comes up on the channel. Fingers crossed, next time out, it'll be something better. Bye for now.